I've had a lot of things to do lately, both good things that I want to do and things that I have to, push myself to do because I know that they're in my best interest for the future. And so in this video, I want to talk about how to do the things that you know you have to do, but you just can't bring yourself to do them, or like you just put them off. And I was on a client call yesterday too, and I told him something that I thought he should do, and he said, I really have to do that. I want to do it. And he's like, but honestly, I'm struggling to do it. And it really resonated with me too. Like I gave him some thoughts on how he could overcome that. But it's something that I think we all deal with at various levels. No matter what place you're in life, business, your relationship, we inevitably have stuff that we are unnecessarily putting off. So here's a framework or way of thinking that I've used over the last number of years to do more of the things more consistently that I know I want to do, but are a challenge, whether it's exercise, I have a Peloton in here, getting on the Peloton, or going for a walk, or making a video, or opening a client email, any of those types of things. The first thing to understand is that you have to find the love and the fun and the joy if you are going to do things with less energy. When we love something or we care about it, we don't even have to push ourselves to do it because we just want to do it so badly. So part of it is kind of to, at least I try and hack my brain a little bit and see, is there a way I could at least have fun when I'm doing that thing, or find some sort of joy or love or gratitude in it, where I'm like, you know what, opening that client email, it'll be great actually, because I love talking to the clients about their stuff, and this is a really great video that we're working on together, and it's going to have really huge impact on their brand, and I'm really excited. Like that would get me to open the email. But when I don't want to do it, I'm telling different stories about that email. So the first thing I try to do, again, when I'm hit with type of resistance in doing something, is to say, is there a way I could love this or find joy in it so that it makes me excited to do it. If you can't find that, it just feels like it's something you don't want to do, and at least in this current moment, there's no way that you could have fun doing it. So the next step is to then ask yourself, is this thing even worth doing then? Like if I can't find any love or joy in it, then is it worth doing? I was on a mastermind call the other day, and someone on the call was talking about how they have this drop-off rate in their funnel, and how their show-up rate's not good for their calls. And he was kind of just talking about how now I've got to fix this. He was talking about it as he was sort of frustrated to do it, which is fair and valid. But there's a part that's important too to recognize in those moments. Like I think that if you really are into your business and you really love what you're doing, then fixing a hole in a sales funnel should be able to tap into some sort of joy, because you're even getting closer to the goal, you're having fun, it's fun to optimize the business, things like that. If you ask yourself, is this even worth doing? Then it'll tell you even more about the situation. Because if it's not worth doing at all, if you're literally like, yeah, this isn't even worth doing, like I really don't even like it. Or I'll give another example. Let's say there's a book on your shelf and you're putting all this pressure on yourself to read it. You're like, I have to finish that book. I have to finish that book. I have to finish that book, but I just can't bring myself to do it. But I know that I should do it. If you can't find joy in reading the book, do ask yourself, is it worth doing? You might be telling yourself, I know I have to do this, but you may not have to do it. So anything that you find yourself in some sort of resistance to, maybe someone messages you to come to dinner, maybe it's a book on your shelf, maybe it is a client email. If it's there, it's okay to also say, I don't need to do these things at all, and then act accordingly. Like if you don't need to do the client email, maybe it's not the right client, and or maybe you don't like the clients that you have, or it's just an email that was already addressed somewhere else and maybe you could have an assistant do it. But on the other hand, if you still think you should do it and you know that it's going to be really helpful, like for instance, I recorded a video and I really wanted to send it to a couple people that I've talked to that I think it would be helpful for, and that was actually kind of scary and hard. Like I didn't really want to do it. I put it off for at least a couple days. until I was like, no, you know what? I really want to do this. Not only do I want them to watch the video. It's not even about us working together. I genuinely want them to watch the video and talk about it and just hear what they think, right? So I could see the end game. So if that's the case and you're like, no, actually, even if I can't find the joy, I know it's still really important that I do this, then enter phase 3 of the framework. Take 10 minutes, set a timer, and write down the thoughts that are in your head and the feelings associated with those thoughts. So 10 minutes on a timer, and you just start writing down, like listening to the thoughts in your head, and write down what they are word for word. If you can't decipher the thoughts, then how you feel about the situation. Like, is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it resentment? Is it guilt? Is it any of those things, or any of the feelings, and then the thoughts that you might be having in your head. So like one of the things that I was talking about with this client who had brought it up with me is, you have these stories around it. You're like, well, what if people don't reply? What if this person thinks this about me? What if I'm not as good as that person over there, and no one cares, or I don't get the response that I want, or even feelings way back in your life can be triggered to come up. Even if it's not that exactly and you're feeling the resistance, it's possible something else happened that made you feel similar, and it's caused a fear loop. Like I definitely have things like that. I know for sure, even sometimes when I post a video or I sit down like this, I have thoughts in my head like, oh, what if someone leaves a negative comment, or what if someone watches this and judges me? Those thoughts. But sometimes it's not about exactly the moment now. It's that things have happened before that have made me, in this case, feel judged, or the negative comments, and that feeling gets relived. But at the end of the day, once you've written all that down and you have an understanding, then you have the decision of choice to really decide what you're going to listen to and what beliefs you're going to reshape. Are you going to keep believing all the things that you wrote down? Are you going to keep feeling those feelings? Or are you going to find certain things that you maybe want to rethink? Maybe, one part of it you think, I don't have to believe that. I don't have to believe that I can't put this video out because a negative comment's somehow going to destroy me. I think that we've all been through ups and downs. We all have, we sometimes worry about failure, but ultimately we've already failed so many times that you can handle way more than you think. And we've all gotten negative comments in some form, whether it's on a post or just straight up in life, or some form of stuff that makes us feel rejected and or afraid or scared. And so that then gets attached to the actions we know we need to take. And so that if you are finding yourself in a situation where there's things that you need to do, or you really want to do, for instance, this video, I really want to make this video because I can see the larger picture of why that's important. Honestly, YouTube had such a profound effect on my life when I was younger, when YouTube first started coming around in 2005, and I actually created a channel, which I then will use a story for a whole other video. I got a number of followers on it. It was maybe between it was maybe 2007 or something. So still early days of YouTube, maybe 2008. But I deleted all of it because I got my dream job. And at the time, it was still kind of like having an internet presence or making content was still kind of seen as something that maybe could jeopardize your job. So I deleted everything, unfortunately. But lately, based on some of the creators that I've been watching and some of the things I've been going through in my own life and business, I've remembered how important it is to have a platform where we can all share ideas and we can basically support each other from afar at the different various things that we're going through, whether it's a business thing or a relationship thing or any of that stuff. So, even though I sit here in fear at times that, yes, as I said, a negative comment, at the end of the day, that image helps me then sit here and make this. So if you can't find that, as I said, then see where you're willing to shift beliefs. And if you're not willing to shift any of the beliefs and you want to continue to believe stuff that will hold you back from going after a dream you want to go after, or doing something in the business you want to do, or fulfilling a vision that you want fulfilled, as the clearer you get on the vision, the better it'll be to help you find big picture stuff that can help you. And by vision, I just mean what's a scene in your life that you want later on? Like, what's a lifestyle or things you want to do, or a person you want to be? The clearer you can get on how that person navigates life and what things you have there, the easier it'll be to see, okay, if I want to get there, these are the things I know that I need to do are important to building towards that. And that can help push you. And if you don't really have that, or you're not even quite sure on how to even figure out the thoughts that are going on in your head, highly suggest meditation, because even if you take 5 minutes out of your day, you set a timer, you set 5 minutes, and you just take a minute to just breathe and be present and allow your thoughts to be there. Don't not think. Allow the thoughts in, but listen to them instead of react to them. So be less reactionary. Like if your thought says, man, you suck. My head has said that before. Your brain's just like, you go to do something and your brain's just like, you know what, you suck. You should just give up. If that happens, like when you hear that thought, instead of reacting and kind of shrinking yourself and being like, oh, like that's probably true, and you have other thoughts that spiral from that, what meditation allows you to do is to have those thoughts, but without the reactiveness. And the more you take that time out to listen to them, you will get easier at discerning which thoughts to listen to and which ones not to. And that, as a skill set in and of itself, will help you be able to do more of the actions. Take more of the actions that you want to take towards the things that you want to build. That's it for today, and I'll see you in another one.